This episode of Invent America Radio is brought to you by America's Inventor Lady and Home Talk USA. Home Talk is a proud member of the King Broadcasting Network and has been bringing you the best of America's home-based product innovation since 1998.
Broadcasting and streaming live all across America. This is Home Talk USA. Join us this hour for our segment Invent America with your co-host Rita Crompton. Discover what's next for new products and innovations. Or if you have that next great big idea, learn what it takes to bring your invention to the world. As Rita Crompton talked to America's inventors and innovators. Remember, the America of tomorrow is being invented today.
Hello, America, and welcome to Invent America, because America invents.
Yahee! This is Home Talk USA right here on the King's Broadcasting Network. I want to welcome all of you to the Invent America show right here. And now I'd like to welcome my co-host, the Inventor Lady herself, Miss Rita Crompton. Rita, it's getting close. A couple more weeks. You're going to be popping that big bird to Sin City for the trade show. Man, we've been pumping this trade show probably for the last couple months. It's called ASD Market Week 2025. And I know you want to talk about that because they've been a tremendous supporter of this show. And of course, this show has been a tremendous supporter of this great trade show that you only found out a couple of years ago that you were going to another trade show and you just ran across these guys. And boy, they just took it to another level, didn't they?
Holy cow. It's like, you got what you're used to, and then you've got the old and obsolete, and then you got the new stuff, the new game in town. And this is the new game in town. And we'd gone to the old one for a long, long time. And, Derry is one of my guests today. He was there last year to check it out. Now we want the new. We want to be in the front. We don't want to be back by the cargo doors anymore. We want to be able to get the biggest bang for our buck. So one of the videos that we've been posting out there everywhere is like, I get so many inventors right now it's like, well, I'm not sure if I'm ready to go, and I'm not sure if I've got the right material. It's like, oh, the fear factor is going to kill you. Yeah,
you're right. And it happens a lot. But what's good about these trade shows, and we're going to talk about trade show expectations, but what's good about the trade show, what people don't realize, it doesn't really matter what stage you are in your process. You don't have to be a developed product.
Right.
And that's what's good about it. Because the thing is to putting the education out there to let them know that there is this technology that's coming up to the pike. And also, how many times you've had a technology that was not ready yet, but they used the trade show as a testing,
Absolutely.
Get a feedback before the final technology is actually developed. So
absolutely,
you don't have to be a finished product. That's what I love about it.
No, and when you waste a year to grab that market share, that is time you don't get back. And if somebody else launches a product and they take part of that market share, you lose. And time in the inventing realm, time is not your friend. It is the enemy. And so, we had inventors there last year. They had prototypes, and Wendy, she was there. She had a spa product. It was really cool. She had 2 prototypes. That was it. That's all she had. She goes, I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what to do. Where's my, what do I need to bring for, marketing material? And I said, just take a deep breath. We got you. And so we gave her the talking points, and I'm not kidding. She went back. She filed some additional intellectual property. She placed an order for 2,000 units, and she was off to the races because she was there. She put her fear factor in a box, buried the box, came out there with, all the bells and whistles, talked to people, got the feedback, and she is now in the marketplace.
But at the end of the day, these guys are experts.
Yeah.
You can also sell an idea. You understand what I'm saying? I've seen it happen, that they come up with an idea that, oh, okay, I like to maybe partner up with you on this idea. Where are you at in this? So, but the point is, you can't do anything unless you exposed and the industry knows that you're there.
Exactly. This
Yeah.
is not a build it and they will come. They don't know
No.
you're there and they don't know what to look for. And so the thing for inventors to realize is that when you go to these professional shows, that's where the buyers go. That's where the guys that are looking for the new products go. That's where they want to be able to find you, shake your hand, test the product. And when you miss that because you're afraid, it's like, oh my God, when they say, well, my patent attorney told me I should have an NDA signed, you're going to have everyone who buys one sign an NDA. Give me a break.
But also a big problem that they make, not a problem that they make, I want to say a mistake that they make, is that I know you work with your vendors, is the length of time that they do their presentation, a drawn out presentation. I mean, come on, the lifespan and the attention span of a listener, and that's somebody that's attentive, is about 25 seconds. And that's a person that's attentive. So you better narrow it down and say what you got to say and catch it right in the beginning so you got an audience. And then when you have 500, 600, 700 people to talk about, you really don't want to waste. You don't want to be all over the place. You want to train speech, get to the point, features and benefits and how this is going to change your life. That's it. Features and benefits and how this is going to change your life or the industry, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Yep, exactly. What problem did you solve? How did you solve it?
Yeah,
the first interview is 10 seconds and you don't want to waste time telling a long story. So what brings you to the trade show this year? Well, I'm a buyer for. Oh, well, this is what I've got. Oh, that's not my product, but the guy over there on the corner, that's in his industry. Yeah. And so you send him over to the guy on the corner who's going to send somebody back to you. And we teach everybody, the best use of words in understanding the time element that they've got. You don't want to be spinning my spouse is, here for business and I'm just along for the ride. Then move on to the next person because they're not going to be a decision maker and you don't have time to just BS with anybody.
Yeah. Be respectful and eye-to-eye contact. Looking that person right in the eye and say what you have to say in the less time to say it.
Right.
And then let them ask the questions.
Exactly.
There you go. Then once you said that, you have any questions? Yeah, let me ask this. Then you can spend a lot of time you want with that person because they're interested in asking you the questions. If they're really just to walk off, they're not interested. Or they're just shopping or trying to steal it, to be honest with you. And we talked about that in the past too.
And I know our industry expert is a gentleman, an inventor from Kentucky, and he had his product stolen. And he goes, my game was to stay one step ahead of him. I always had the better one. I always was looking at the better pricing. I always knew that I could beat him in the marketplace. And that's what he went after.
Well, a lot going on. ASD Market Week. I know you're going to be there. All guns loaded. You're going to be doing your show from there. This is going to be the first time you're actually going to be doing a live show on location. I know you're going to be excited, huh? Just got to make sure you got internet connection. That's all.
I know. We've got a private room that has internet connection. So we will be having a little bit of privacy. So we won't have as much background noise. And we will be doing live video. We'll be doing radio live. This is going to be a very interactive show for us. And we are really, really excited.
Well, maybe we could talk. Our producer, Matthew and John, maybe you can do some away from the show like I used to do sometime during the week when the show's going on. That you can we can record some segments that we can play on another day. Because the whole goal is to get people to be attractive to your booth. And when you do a show, when I do a show, man, they're lining around the corner because they want to be on the show. And maybe we can talk to John and maybe reserve some time when, to do these little 2-minute segments. What do you think? Huh?
Absolutely, my dear. I'll do whatever you tell me to do.
Hey, I'm already working.
I'm
already working on it.
I appreciate that. You're the boss.
They just don't know it yet. That's all.
Well, I told it's like I tell them. It's like if one of my guests doesn't show up, they just became the inventor for the day, and they go, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, trade shows are so important. But hey, we got a full show coming up. This is the Made in America show. No, it's the Invent America show. Made in America is coming up. Mr. Greg Owens is coming up on the third hour right here on Home Talk USA, streaming live on the World Wide Web. Don't forget to visit hometalkusa.com. When you're there, you can click over to the Invent America show. You can learn about all the exhibitors that Rita's going to have on the show over there, ASD Market Week, right here. So that's hometalkusa.com. And also, don't forget to patronize all our great sponsors. By helping to patronize all our great sponsors, there would be no Inventor Lady. There would be no Home Talk USA. You are the show. We do this show for you. Education, information. That's what we do here each week and every week. And I want to thank all of you also that were listening to the first hour when we're talking about our mold problem. It has reached the hits. So we're going to take a short break. We're going to be back with some guests and topics right here on the Invent America Show. Yay! I'll be right back with the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton. Hey, welcome back to Home Talk USA right here on the King's Broadcasting Network. This is the Invent America Show right here on the network. And don't forget, this segment of the show is sponsored by Impeccable Air, the leaders of home air ventilation. If you want to improve the quality of air in your home, think Impeccable Air, impeccableair.com. It has never been easier, impeccableair.com. All right, Rita, let's get into our first guest.
Well, our first guest is Derry Griffin. And, I am grateful that Derry was willing to join us today because I had to get him down off a roof. He's on a job and he is willing. He is going to ASD Market Week with us as one of our exhibitors. He's got several cool products, and congratulations to you because you just got a royalty check last week. That was cool. And you've gone with us several times to different shows. So, Derry, tell our listeners about your products, please.
Okay. Hi, Rita. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yep, yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, cool. So my products, because I'm a general contractor, over the years, I've found deficiencies in tools that are available or tools that don't even exist that I feel might be beneficial as a convenience and a safety issue on job sites. So I came up with some tools and here we are. That's why we're talking, I guess, right?
Well, it is. And you always had the sweetest display when we would go out there. When somebody would come by and they would look, it's like, you grabbed them because you had a really sweet display out there. Tell everybody a little bit about how you came up with that and decided to do it.
Well, my display I found on a street corner. It's basically a half a mannequin, but she's got a really good body. So I'm like, yeah, that's going to draw people in. And then I just figure out my tools, And I've forgotten what I've named her, but she doesn't have a name. I'll just rename her again when I get to Vegas.
Well, it's nice to know who we're talking to. So yeah. You've gone before to the trade shows. What is it that, why is the trade show better than just walking in the door and talking to folks?
This is the first time I've been to ASD, right? But right. I've gone to the other trade show with you, and yeah, it's very intimidating, of course, because you're putting yourself and your products, and that is very intimidating. But you get a great mix of people, random people, some people who are all walks of life, but you just never know, what their whole interest in, who they are, who they're connected to. So that is kind of exciting about it. And I guess that is the magic of trade shows, right? You just got such a random mix of people in all types of industries.
Exactly. So, exactly. Yeah. That's why we really like this one because, there were a lot of spots of exhibitors that dealt with, home gadgets, tools, kitchen gadgets, stuff for kids, stuff for the backyard. And again, tools, in case I missed saying that, where the other show that we had gone to of years was really focused on tools. But what we have found is that there is so much overlap. Somebody's coming in and they're looking for, a barbecue grill gadget, all right, or stuff that you'd find in that realm. And they see yours and they go, well, this is really cool. My friend Bob, he's the one that does that for our company. Let me give you his contact information. So we found that there is a lot more overlap and a lot more outreach. And so even though a particular person you're talking to might not be the right one in the company, he knows who it is.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's a small world. You start to realize.
Yeah.
People are interconnected in all kinds of different ways. So, yeah. Yeah,
And it
absolutely.
makes such a difference when you're there. You know, you can go out online and do what you can and post stuff, but it's looking at people, looking at them in the eye, shaking their hand, letting them touch it, feel it, and see how it works. That makes a huge difference.
Absolutely. I mean, isn't that how we buy products? I mean, I know that's how I do it. If I
Yeah.
can't touch it and feel it and hold it, I mean, I'm not really that interested, you know?
Yep.
A
Yep.
video can do so much, but then there's the actual experience of literally handling the product. So
Exactly.
that's the
I
opportunity.
I remember the first time I met you. You drove up from California to Utah. I
Yes,
was
I did.
in Utah, and we met, I think, at a Burger King drive-in in the parking lot.
Yes, I got a speeding ticket. Thank you. Anyway,
Oh, yeah. Anyway, and that was, a few years back. So we've
yeah,
helped you with your intellectual property, helped you with your first licensing agreement. You have done a lot of work, and I think it's important for folks to realize that when we're working on a licensing deal, it's not you alone or us alone. We're all working together to make sure that the agreement reads correctly, that it's best for you and the product. But it's quite a road, that you travel to get it done.
it is, and it's a bumpy road at times. But I guess that's where your expertise comes in, Rita. I could not handle the day-to-day operation of trying to do licensing deals and live a life at the same time. Impossible. I couldn't do it. So, I mean, I think your service for somebody like me who's really just putting my toe in the water with inventing is essential, absolutely essential. That's been my experience, at least.
Well,
So
you're delightful to work with. You always have been. Of course, the accent does help on that. We all appreciate that. And
I have an accent.
well, for you, then we do. So it's always been a lot of fun. It's like, Derry's coming. It's like, oh my God, Derry's coming. Yay. But you've got really cool products.
Well, I hope so. Time will tell. But yes, one licensing deal in the bag, that's incredible. That's a huge step forward. Like,
It is.
even though it didn't mean I was rich or anything, but it was a huge step forward. It's like a little success story. Yeah. So
Well, hey, money in the bank is always better than money coming out of the bank.
true, I guess. Someday maybe I'll experience that. That would be amazing.
Well, hopefully at least we turn the balance over going the other direction, right?
Yes, incredible. Yeah, it's progress. It's real progress. And I'm very appreciative, and thank you for your help.
So you're looking then, you've got two other products for the caulking industry, very cool tools. So that if you're climbing up on a ladder and you drop something, oh no, when you're using your stuff, you don't drop them anymore.
Ideally, yeah. And I think that is a huge safety issue in construction, literally drop and falls, and that's how people get hurt. Any way you can eliminate that, I think, is a good thing.
Absolutely. I mean, there's nothing worse than, reaching for something because it's sliding off a roof and you go to grab it. And then the next thing you know, you're sliding off the roof.
Exactly. Been there, done that.
I know, right? You broke an arm doing that. So
I did.
it's like, darn, got to get those products done so that we're not repeating this one over and over again.
Yeah.
But then you've got a new one. Are you going to bring that wheelie thing with you?
The wheelie thing, yes. Traditionally known as a wheelbarrow.
There you go.
Yes. But I have added a new dimension to the old-fashioned wheelbarrow. So yeah, I am going to bring that. I'm going to give people free rides all over the convention center on that wheelbarrow.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Oh, that'll be fun. All right, we'll get some videos of that for sure and find out why it's so wonderful. So, all right, Derry, thank you so much. Be careful up there on that roof. Everyone, we're going to go and pay some bills. We will be right back. If you are an inventor or an inventor, we've still got some spots we're looking to fill. Have them call me. Have them call me today. 303-910-8889. And you can find that phone number anywhere and everywhere because I do answer my phone. Stick with us. We'll be right back. everybody, and thank you so much for being with us. This is Invent America Radio, and we do Invent America because America invents. Have been for centuries, and we will continue to do it long into the future. This segment is brought to you by Aztec Washer. It is a revolutionary and innovative roofing product. Sorry about that. And they have been around since 1968. Holy cow. They must be doing it right. Seal it right. Seal it tight. AztecWasher.com. And Tom Butler is my next guest. He is also going to ASD Market Week with us. And he's a beef farmer in Wisconsin. So, you know, Derry's a roofer in California. Here we've got a beef farmer in Wisconsin. And he has got a interesting new way of hanging a picture. And when I look around the room, Tom, I see all of my crooked frames. So tell everybody, thanks so much for being with us today, and tell everybody what is Next Level Frames all about.
Hi, Rita. Thanks for letting me on here. Well, what I have is my picture frame is a self-leveling. Well, how it works is in the back of the frame, every frame has got a piece of cardboard or something to hold the frame together, you know, the picture up against the glass. Well, this is, you take that out, you put this plastic, it's a plastic piece of plastic, and it has a bladder, and like a diamond-shaped bladder in the back of it. And it has a little hole in the top, and you take and you fill it halfway with water. And water is a self-leveling, no matter where water lays, it always lays level, you know. So that balances out the picture frame. So you just put the picture frame, basically all you do is you take your old frame down, you can put just the back piece in on any frame. It'll fit on any 8x10 picture frame. And you put that on your original picture frame, or you can buy a frame from me. And you put it up on the wall, you give the picture a swing, and it'll just pendulum back and forth until it comes level. And that's all you got to do.
Oh, that is so cool. You know, we were laughing when we first talked about it, and, you know, it's like, okay, move the nail. No, move the picture. Oh, swing it a little bit this way. And then it goes back to the way it was. And so this makes it level automatically. And
Right.
I don't know about, you know, you or your wife or anybody else out there, but mostly women want those frames to hang straight.
Yeah. Well, this is it. Well, how I came up with it was, well, my mom had a wall full of pictures, and every time I went over there, it's like, come on, can't you straighten the pictures out a little bit? And she's like, and she, you know, she was getting older, and she's always just like, oh, just let it be. It's fine. It's like, I'm going to fix that problem. So this is what I came up with.
Well, you are going to go with us to ASD Market Week and show off. How did you find out about ASD Market Week?
Well, I found out just last week when you were on with Carol for my product today there. And you were the special guest, and you said, this is the place you got to go. So I was on that interview with you there, or on the program with you there. And we took, and after I hung up with you, I talked to a few friends that, by God, they've been out there too and did some of these shows too. So it's like, this is, if you want to do it, if you want to sell, they said, this is the place to go. This is a good show. Let's go do it. So it's like, let's go do it. Let's see what happens.
Let's go do it. We are so glad to have you going along with us. So far in getting from, let's learn how to level those frames. All right. So you saw the problem first. How did you figure out water?
Water? Well, water is, I'm a jack of all trades, and water is a natural leveler. No matter where water lays, it always lays level.
Well, it does. Yeah, I live above the river that flooded, and I understand when it gets up out of its banks, it's going to go to, you know, spread off
wherever level
evenly.
is.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly. And, you know, I use water because I'm in a colder climate, in the area that I'm at has a lot of people that have houses that they shut down for the winter time that would freeze. So I originally thought water, and then I thought, well, if I use antifreeze, like RV antifreeze, that's, you know, biodegradable and everything, for them houses that are remote, that will freeze in the wintertime, so you don't have to worry about it. But I've done tests with this, and it's because of this bladder is only filled halfway. If you throw it in the freezer, it's not going to crack or nothing, because it does have room to expand. So it's not an issue anyways. But yeah.
Well, there's so many times that when inventors tell me their steps that they took from, there's the problem, how will we solve it? It absolutely is amazing, the stories and the problems that the average guy can solve. So from, I think, let's do this to now, what has your biggest challenge been?
The biggest challenge is, I'm a jack of all trades, but I'm not a tradesman by selling. I'm not a seller.
Oh.
And that's the hardest part. The hardest part is just, I can make anything. You give me a problem, I'll figure it out. But to sell it, that's not my gig. That's the hardest thing for me to do is be the sell guy. It's tough.
Well, you're not alone in that, because for most inventors, doing that basic prototype, getting the next prototype done, intellectual property is done, but the selling, the marketing and the selling are really the big challenges out there for inventors. It's amazing.
It is very much. And I'm not real, I can do the computer stuff. I'm not real computer savvy, I like the nail and the hammer. I don't like the automatic stuff.
And we have a couple of hammers going too. So, you might find one that you really like. And, it's always amazing to me, when I get the inventors out there and it's like, we coach you on what to say. So we've got your back. We've got, professional sales staff that is there, and, they walk around with you, for you, and, whether the inventors can be there or not, because a lot of them can't be there, and work at selling the product and telling the story. And so for, some of our inventors, it's like, oh, well, yeah, I can do that. Give me the lines I'm supposed to do. What should I ask first? And by the time 4 days rolls by, you're a professional.
There you go. That's what I need.
Yeah. You didn't know you had it in you, and you're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah. That'll be perfect.
So it is a lot of fun. We are really busy. There will be a lot of folks that come by that, they might want to buy one. They might want to place an order. And sometimes it's the professionals that want to place an order that leads us then to the licensing, because we say, oh, who makes frames for you? Who makes other types of products that you're carrying like this? And they go, oh, well, it's, Sammy over here, does this thing. And so now we can talk to Sam and we say, oh, we've got a buyer for you. And it's, this guy here who wanted to buy some, and he gave us your contact information. So we use all the contacts we make to circle back around, and for the inventors who want licensing, to find licensing, and for the inventors who can do, a short order, to be able to do a short order.
Absolutely perfect. That's what I'm there for. That's what I want. That's exactly what I want.
I know that's what you want. So, what are you hoping to learn then from ASD, and where do you want to get to?
Well, here again, I'm hoping to learn my selling skills, and be able to learn how to more market, how do other people market stuff is what I like to know, how just to get out there and be more marketable, And what I would really like to get out of being at the show is a licensing agreement or say any kind of sales, or even if, I'd be, again, like I wouldn't be opposed to being somebody that has the marketing ability that would want to team up with me or something like that,
Yep.
Or even patent out,
Do you have inventory?
I do have inventory. I have like 2,000 frames.
Excellent. All right. Tell our listeners, as we are counting down this segment, where they could go and buy your frame.
Well, my frames are on nextlevelframes.com. It's all one word. And just go online. I got a good little video in there for you. And it's kind of really a cool little thing. It's really good.
It is a really cool little thing. And anybody can go to invent-americaradio.com, and under the tab ASD Market Week, you'll be able to see the products that are going with us. And we will have the link then up for My Next Level, and you will be able to get directly to a site. And you know what, America? Our audience, you're the best consumers out there, because you want to know what's new. And Tom's got the new Next Level frame. So go and find one. Everybody stick with us. We will be right back with our industry expert, Dawn Skaggs. And we'll talk some more about, these really cool shows that are coming up. Hello, America, and thank you again for being with us this afternoon. We're in that season, not the holiday season anymore, but 'tis the season for trade shows. And usually that first, 4 months of any year, we are off to the races and going to multiple trade shows because that is where new products go to get your attention. And that's how you end up seeing them on e-commerce or on a store shelf. And Don Skaggs is our industry expert right now, and he has gone to shows for years. So what I want to do before I leave the mic to you, Don, is let everyone know that this segment is brought to everyone by Trimislab. If you need to replace rotting or missing wood that you find on driveways and sidewalks, Trimislab is easy to install. It looks great, and it can be removed if you need to remove it. Trimislab.com. We are grateful that they are the sponsors for this segment. So Don Skaggs is president of the Kentucky Inventor Group, but you are an inventor. You've been doing this for a long time, and you have been to a lot of shows.
Yes, everything from aerospace to medical to hardware to you name it. I've been to a lot of these, and it's funny because a lot of them, every one of them are different, but all of them are the same.
Yeah. That is true. So how do you, and I know you work with a lot of inventors as well. And in fact, some of your inventors are going to the show with us. And so how do you help them manage expectations? I mean, we always laugh and say, no, you're not going to get to buy an island. You still haven't bought your island yet. And so, helping them manage expectations, how do you do that?
Well, I always like to say, and as much as I like Kevin Costner, if you build it, they will come is only a movie, and it's not real life. I mean, you have to know that, it's not going to be Shark Tank. If you're watching too many episodes of that and that's all you do, then no, you're not going to get anywhere. You reap what you sow. Well, if you plant a lot of stuff in the ground, a lot of stuff's going to grow. If you don't do anything, if you just kind of walk around the ground and you don't put any seeds in or don't water, then no, nothing's going to happen. So, you have to prepare. Number one, you have to, get your optics right, get everything right, have a good professional email. Don't have sweet baby 1999 at yahoo.com as and if somebody has that, by the way, apologies. You don't use that kind of an email when you're talking to people. So, be prepared, be really prepared to look professional and then it's the follow-up, it's the stuff after. And a lot of times, they'll maybe they'll plant the seeds and everything will grow up, but then they don't reap the harvest because it's like they don't follow up and they don't talk to people and they don't, well, I'm here. No, you have to get out there. And another thing is nobody wants to dance with the wallflowers.
I know.
Have to
or
get
somebody
out there
looking at their phone. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So I always tell inventors, it's like, no,
we
don't sit down. You got to be eye to eye. If you're sitting down and somebody walks by, you're looking at their belly button and they're seeing over your head. So no, we don't sit down. We actually walk, you look eye to eye with somebody. And, I always tell people, it's like, when they start talking about Shark Tank, it's like, it doesn't matter how expensive the suit is, the shark will still eat you.
Yeah.
And Shark Tank, is TV entertainment, not reality check. Oh, there was a few of those shows on too.
Shark Tank and Gilligan's Island are both TV shows.
Exactly. Exactly. So we are really looking forward to this show and getting all of our inventors out there. And they're at all different stages, Don. Some of them have inventory. Some of them can do wholesale. Some of them were shipping product out there they could sell to consumers one-on-one. And some of them have just got a few prototypes and they're looking at, getting the feedback, that market research. I've talked to inventors that have paid thousands of dollars for market research. And for a couple thousand, they could go to a trade show and talk to people.
Mm-hmm. And you want to play to your strengths. If you're good at one thing or if you're geared towards one thing, lean into that. And the other thing is what the feedback you get, take it honestly. Don't think that, they're just saying bad stuff about me because they don't like, no. You need to change it, whatever it is, to what people like. If you give people what they want, then they will like it.
It was amazing. Last year, we had some folks that went with prototypes, and the one lady now she's manufacturing and selling them by the cartload, and a pallet, and it was the word I was looking for. And another lady is, she redesigned it because it was going to have to go into a suitcase. And what we found out was it was going to be so much less expensive to manufacture it if she just made the innards to go into a standard size, because it was the innards that had the patent on it. So cool. It was but they learned those things at the trade show last year. So early stage inventors, you know what? Come on. Don't let that fear factor stop you from going and collecting data. If your patent attorney says, oh, get a non-disclosure, find a different patent attorney, because it means they know they didn't do a very good job. So call me. I can help solve that problem right now.
Yeah, and don't treat your invention like it's a baby. If you treat it like a baby, then it's going to behave like a baby. And I don't care if it's diapers or college tuition, babies cost money. But the day you decide you're not going to treat it like that, you're going to treat it like a product, guess what? It's going to start acting like a product.
An invention is like a child. You conceive it, you nurture it, it sucks you dry, you throw it out. And until you throw it out, it is not going to grow up and be big and take care of you.
Yep.
So anyway,
absolutely.
I am so grateful that you are on with me today. Thank you very, very much. And you've always got really good insight for our listeners. And everybody out there, if you want to see the cool new products, consumers, your guide when it comes to pricing and buying products. So go to the website, Invent America Radio. Take a look at the new products, and some of them actually have inventory. They're ready to make sales. The link to it will take you directly to their site. And you know what? We bring these new products to you so that you can support those inventors, and we bring the information to you so that you know what to do when you solve a problem, you have an idea, or sometimes when it's your spouse that's making a mess in the garage. Send them over to us. We'll help them out. Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. We will be back next week with more stories on getting products from mind to market. We will have new inventors and industry experts. So join us and have a wonderful week.